How's the headset today, everybody? Can you hear me okay? Get some feedback from anybody there? Am I sounding all right? Brian is amazing. We love Brian. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, I see a couple more people getting in. We'll just give it a couple more seconds. Sorry about that. Then we should be good. No, there's nothing on the screen yet, everybody. Nothing on the screen. It's just blue. So you can ignore that. Actually, what I'll do is I'll pause the screen so you at least know it works there. Okay. All right. So anybody, welcome. Happy Wednesday. It's getting there. Next week, yours truly will be in Chicago. So first and foremost, I know there's a few people on this I still have to call for today, so it's going to be a little crazy, but I am getting there. I will be able to do dinner Monday night of next week, but Tuesday I am booked, inclusive of now, or actually Tuesday dinner I'm also available. Wednesday I will not. So I know I told some of you maybe we can meet Wednesday. It's not going to happen because from there we're going a couple other places. So getting a little crazy, which is a good thing. Very, very good thing. Okay. But at any rate. Hold on, let me make sure my screen's not. Oh, let me do this. So it goes. There we go. So let's kind of go over things. First and foremost, the portal. It's close, guys. It's in production in beta. It's going to be the same one as before. All the data will be there. I need another day or so. Jonathan, who none of you have ever probably really talked to because he's our British operations guy, is very finicky. He will not allow us to give out logins until it's perfect. And it's close. Little things, reports, things like that. The data is there, which is great. So when we do give you the login, it'll be perfect from that day on. So bear with us as we are going through this transition. MedTechCorp.com, we have a beta of the website. It's not 100% yet, but it's getting there. Our logo's there. We've got business cards. Actually, I just noticed I've got to get Vinny to get us the transparent logo. Then there's the white one. I'll hit him up on that. So bear with us on the portal, okay? So, but other than that, we are getting there. Part of my trip is I'm visiting 2 different laboratories, very good laboratories. So let's talk about picking a lab, what they do, and about lab stuff, and why it's important to you in joining our family and being with us, and why do we want to do that in addition to what we're doing with the compound pharmaceuticals. But actually, before we talk about the lab, good point, let me bring up something else. On our compounding, for those who don't know, not yet, Arthur. Okay, hold on. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. Stand by here. For those who can't hear you, that's weird because I'm usually the loudest guy here. But hold on. I will adjust that. I apologize. Bear with me. It's on. Let's see. Check 1, 2. It's as loud as it'll go. I apologize. Hans, there's nothing I can do. My microphone is on full blast. I'm watching what I'm seeing in the window. I'm actually hitting the reds here and there, but let me see if there's one other thing I can do. Again, I apologize, everybody. Yeah, it's as loud as it'll... Oh, hold on. No, it's not.
This is now, it should be better. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. There we go. Check. That's better, right, everybody? There we go. I did ask for a sound check. I know what happened. I had you on my webcam microphone instead of my headset, like an idiot. Stupid Brian. All right, good. All right, great. Okay, now let's really begin. Okay, first and foremost, before we talk about lab stuff and next week, which is very exciting, let's talk about what we're now doing with the doctors and the office managers. If any of you don't start making money next week after I tell you what we're doing, for those who have already signed up a doctor or had a doctor go to a webinar, give up because you're not going to be able to. It doesn't get any easier than what I'm about to tell you. From this point on, for the rest of our lives, physicians make their $50 a survey. Every time they write a script and send it in, we pay that person there in the office who looks at that script and gathers the paperwork and faxes it to us, $10. In other words, an office manager, office people making 25 grand a year, if they're getting that 5 scripts a day that we're always looking for, has an opportunity to make $200 to $300 a week extra from me. Okay? Because now they're going to be helping us in getting the doctor scripting, you scripting, and everything else. Can I get a hell yeah? All right? If you cannot get doctor scripting, well, you now have full buy-in, literally, from the office manager with that. Okay? So with the raise a hand, show of hands, who likes that idea? Who thinks that's freaking brilliant? You got to click the little button there. There we go. All right? So I've given you all the tools that we could think of. We have another program coming up. Actually, all of you should have hands up. That's all right. You can put them down now. But thank you all. Listen, we're doing everything we can do to help you make successful. We're going to close out this year strong. You should not be waiting until January. No, $10 each. Now remember, the nurses, these girls, don't get paid on the survey, on the script. Here's why I'm paying them $10. They're going to look at it and make sure all the information is correct, that the doctor didn't forget anything, that the demographic sheet's attached, that the doctor didn't forget the refills. I want complete, beautiful looking scripts. If all of you aren't, some of you were phone called about this yesterday, the day before, you better be doing that now. I don't care if you have a doctor that maybe the office manager liked it and the doctor didn't get going, go back. You have doctors doing 2-3 scripts a month, go now. If tomorrow at 10 o'clock you're still at home in your underwear, watching TV and eating some Cheerios, I'm going to go over there and slap you, all right? This is huge. Nobody else is doing this that I know of. So let's go out there and put it out there, okay? Even if they do not get adjudicated. That is correct, Alia. $10 per script to handle that for the doctor, okay? If they submit 100 scripts and 0 go through, 100 scripts, I'm still going to pay them $1,000. Now make sure the doctor knows about this before you present it on new doctors, and all the presentations we're doing that started today, we're bringing it up in the webinars. Because remember, we don't want to feel that the doctor needs to know, hey, by the way, doctor, I'm also going to pay your girl there $10, whether that's the office manager, whatever title, we all know who I'm talking about. You go out there, that $200, $300 a week that these girls are going to make for helping the doctor, tell me that that doesn't mean more to them than the $50 a script does to that doctor. All of you right now who are making 20, 30, 40 grand a year before you started working with us, who wouldn't want a freaking extra $800 to $1,500 a month? Okay? All right? Again, that's on the script, not the survey. Because they don't do anything. The survey takes them 2 seconds. But the script, think about it. The doctor writes it up. They got to make sure it's good, clean, attached demographics, etc. Okay? I'm paying that out of me, not your commissions. Okay? This is my Christmas present to y'all. I'm paying $10 out of my pocket, but get it done. Okay? Starting January, all new reps, that 50 and the 10 will come out. All you guys are already here, the $10 will be grandfathered in forever. But don't get 0 doctors this month and 0 scripts coming in. Come back to me January, February and start up. No, 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 no. I want you out there tomorrow and Friday crushing this. And Dolly, I saw you joined a little late. Did you hear about the portal there? We're running still a little late. I know you hate me and want to punch me in the face next time you see me, but we're going to be making it right. I'll bring it up again at the end because there's still some latecomers. So again, number one, $50 per survey to the doctor, $10 on the script to the assistant, whoever it is, to make sure that they're clean for us, okay? Yeah, script quality control. That's what the $10 is, okay? It's because I'm paying them for their work. Because listen, Mrs. Office Manager, I know this is going to put some extra time onto you. By the way, what a better way of opening than the $50 and everything else is now when you get to say, hey, by the way, are you the one you think will be preparing it? It will be you? Okay, great. Here's what we're also able to do. We pay you $10 per script that you have to prepare because I know I need a clean script and I know put extra time on you. So to show your appreciation, I want to make sure that the refills in checked. And by the way, do you know most of our doctors choose the PRN? Just as an FYI. The 3 or more, but the PRN is very common on our doctors, which means the patient can get it as needed. So if you could try to influence the doctor there on these, that'd be great. And make sure that we get those sent in, blah, blah, blah. And I need the demographic sheet. But again, if you can, look on your own, if the doctor thinks he can do 5 of these a day, that's $50 a day just to you. And we pay her direct. The negative thing about that $10 is it's not cash. We're going to 1099 them, guys. I have to. It's a law. All right? All right. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. They get the $10 for every script they submit. Now, let me be clear on that. If they select, if they have a script and they do 2 products, it's still $10. Okay? The refills, no. It's the script that they submit to me. Okay? I can't pay them on refills and $10. That becomes illegal. They're in the office. For the piece of paper where there's 1, 2, or 3 things on it, they get $10. It's in their best interest to put 2 to 1 because we want that doctor to be successful and them to be successful. All right? All right. Now, any questions on that before we move to the next point? Holiday times are here, guys. Time to make some money. If you start pushing this, I know some of you need some advances to buy some Christmas presents. Get me some scripts in here so we can do that for you. Okay, we've added 2 more pharmacies this week. To keep up with the volume? No, that $10. Oh, on the Medicare? No, the $10 does not apply to Medicare. Good question. Because we can't. We can't pay a penny. Medicare is very specific. We'll all go to jail on that, all right? This is private insurance, TRICARE, that kind of thing only. Medicare, no. Good question, though. Very good question, actually. Thank you for bringing that up, Jeff. Shows you got the thinking cap on. All right, so, what was it? Yes, if it's a Medicare script, I cannot pay the girl $10 to put that together for me. Correct. Only we're talking about Medicare compound. I cannot pay the $10 to the assistant. Okay, which should be a small part of their business, right? Okay. So let's talk about how many other people go into doctor's office, offering the manager some money. So if the manager, we think, shut these down because of the work, let's go fix them. All right. I usually don't give out a list of the pharmacies there, Raymond. On a case-by-case basis, I'll give the doctor one of where we think we'll be sending the majority of their scripts to, but that's about it. Not in our best interest to give everybody a list of our pharmacies, as you can imagine. All right, so we've added 2 more pharmacies. We're now caught up on volume, which is extremely exciting. So we're ready to start blasting for more reps again. So we're going to be doing a huge recruitment push for more reps, which means I need you to go get, we have a total of, I think, 9 active pharmacies, Jeff. We now need to go ahead and recruit for reps. So all of you who know somebody who should be doing what you're doing, go get them. You get a 5% override on everything they do. Okay? You should be getting reps. You should be getting doctors. If you just run around getting reps and get no doctors, I'm going to yell at you. Okay? So I'm going to say this one last time, and then I have to move on. I know people get late. From now on, if you come in late and miss something, you're going to have to watch the recording because it's not fair to everybody else. But I'll do it one more time because I love you, John. You're a good guy. and you too, Jack, and everybody else is just showing up. If, one more time, the doctor gets his $50 per survey, new or existing clinics, it doesn't matter, the office manager or whoever is preparing that script, the fax to us, we will pay $10 per script they send to us as long as it's not Medicare. And that means we expect a clean script, everything checked. All right, make sure it's nice and sexy looking. All right, let's move on. And I think that's good. Everybody raise their hands. All of you should be hitting the pound in that pavement tomorrow. Going to any doctor or office manager you thought that was being a B word. Anybody where the office manager went to the webinar instead of the doctor, go, go, go. Any other questions from this point on? Go ahead and call the sales hotline. Speaking of the sales hotline, we've added yet another great gentleman, Larry, to the mix, who will be calling you and pushing you to get things done. Okay? He's good and rock and roll. Is that $10? Infinity, Lee. Infinity. But again, any more questions from this point on, I'm not going to answer on that question. Please address them to Max or Larry or call the sales hotline tomorrow, okay? Just so we have a lot to cover, and we've killed 15 minutes, and it's huge on this, by the way. But we do need to move on, okay? But if you can't, I mean, we have seen, and I do know that if we get the office manager buying in and now being compensated also, this should be a home run. For anybody who had doctors that were on the fence or close, and we're looking to end the year strong, so we're getting as aggressive as possible. And remember, for all your reps are here, starting January 1, I'm paying the $10, not you. Okay? Now let's talk about number 2, toxicology lab. So let's talk about the lab in general first, and then explain to you our strategy going into the first quarter. By the way, we have doctors signing up Tox now. Some of you reps know who I'm talking about. Some of you have some doctors. You should be pitching toxicology. Let's talk about why toxicology, and then let's talk about the lab in general first. There's 2 main labs, and the one I like the most is located in Tennessee. So from Chicago, I'll be shooting down to Tennessee to visit them, and it looks like we're almost got the paperwork done. Okay, we're going to go knock this out. This is very exciting. The 2 labs we have, both in the Nashville area and in the Knoxville area, that we'll be working with most likely. And we have a 3rd one, but those will be our 2 primary ones. Should be able to rock and roll here. But they are very good. We've done tests with both doctors. They can handle volume. They've got great references, and I'm visiting the facilities to double check everything. The labs you will know the name of once we have next Wednesday's meeting. Actually, I won't be here for next Wednesday's meeting, so the Wednesday after, or you'll get an email, you get something. We'll decide that. That's like my pause putting up the lab training videos in the back end, because I want to make sure they're pertinent to the final decisions. Okay, we want to make sure that we have these guys up and ready to go. Okay, and by the way, when I am there in Tennessee, I'll be hitting you guys up as I get close and visit some of the reps there. All right. Now then, let's talk. The labs that we chose have to have a few things in common that we chose as criteria. Got to be in all 50 states, licensed, bonded in all 50 states. Need to be able to do Medicaid, Medicare, private insurance. They need to be able to do at least 2 products. One's toxicology, one's the pharmacology, or the cancer markers. We're not even going to talk about cancer tonight. We'll go into that into January because it's looking good from our test. The toxicology, I'll be honest, I should have launched this earlier. The toxicology is just amazing. So let's explain what toxicology is and why doctors should be doing this. Toxicology, first and foremost, to your bottom line, every patient that's on any prescription drugs going to a doctor's office is a candidate for the tox test. Goes through 70% of the time on average on private insurance. Medicaid in many states makes the doctor do it either on a monthly or quarterly basis. It's a requirement. Okay? The doctor gets to bill patients insurance for interpreting the results. Okay? So the doctor makes money. We provide the doctor the specimen cups for free, and we pay the shipping to get it to the lab. Doctor has no costs. Let's say that the average doctor should have 4 to 6 of these going on a day based on a 30 patient a day caseload. Basically 20% of the patients minimum should do this. This is different than the pain cream where it's hit and miss. The doctor should be doing this. Let's talk about it. If you were a doctor today, Max comes in and says, "Hey guys, it's me, Max from Atlanta here." That's my horrible accent, I know. "I hurt my arm. I need some Vicodins." So the doctor prescribes Vicodin. "Hey Max, you on cocaine or any other drugs?" Max says, "Nope." He prescribes Max some Vicodin. Max goes home and dies. Why? Because Max was doing coke, heroin, everything. You like how I pick on Max? Doctor now is on the hook. He's going to get sued. We know the United States loves suing doctors, right? He may win or lose. It's going to cost money. Had he done a tox test, saw Max was on that and didn't prescribe it, he'd be fine. Or if the tox test said, hey, he was on nothing, he'd be fine. Because maybe Max just did coke that night. So it's a CYA, cover your butt, part of the doctor. Now check this out. Medicaid wants it. Why? Medicaid is tired of paying benefits to people that are druggies. So you know what they're going to do? Hey, listen, doctor, I know you're prescribing Vicodin to that patient. How do you know he's taking it? Do a tox test, make sure he is taking it. By the way, I also want to know if he's doing coke, because if not, I don't want you to have him as a patient anymore. Another version of the tox test. Guess what, guys? Anybody ever heard of psychiatrists? Do you think psychiatric patients, how often have they not taken their meds? So it's not just talking about illegal substances, it's also talking of prescribed substances, okay? So that's why it's so important for doctors that do this. Now, I don't have the list of every state that has Medicaid is mandated. I'm going state by state. Ohio's quarterly. I think Tennessee's monthly, but we just got to go through and make the list, all right? We do pay for the shipping with toxicology. I apologize if I misspoke last week, Raymond. We do pay for it. It's a FedEx label. We pay for that, okay? This is huge. Now, private insurance, average adjudication, $1,700. $1,700, you're getting 10%. Okay? It's slow pay. Don't stop your compounding. It's slow because here's the way it works. With pharmaceuticals, before I ship it, I know to the penny what I'm going to get paid, and I don't mind advanced paying reps. I basically have to do a tox test, send it out to the insurance, wait for it to come back, and they say, yeah, I'm going to pay it. No, I'm not, and if I did, here's what I'm going to pay you. That's 30 to 45 days away. If you have a doc that wants to start toxicology next week, you get with Vinny. But do me a favor, let's just wait. Let's start lining them up and really go crazy once I get back, because I want to get a couple more things done. I'm going to take pictures at the lab and put it up on the site and all that other good stuff, okay? Start talking to your doctors about toxicology today anyway, because it takes them a few days to get started. Here's the other great thing, everybody. Check this out. The reason why customer service is our first and foremost thing we're looking at all these labs, and we've done a lot of research to figure that out, is this. Once a lab is doing a great job working with the doctor, delivering the reports and this and that and everything else, guess what? Another lab goes and says, hey, doc, use my lab instead. Why would a lab doctor change labs? You'll get that doctor for life. It's good money. It's easier for you on the rep. You only have to go 1 or 2 days and they get going, because once they have the kits and they're done, the lab and us, we do the training. You don't have to visit near as often as you have to do for the scripting, and it's a long-term money. Okay? It takes about 72 hours to get you on the full. There's 2 types of tests called quantitative and qualitative, and when we get back, we're going to set up some full training. But at any rate, and again, I'm sorry to be a little slow on releasing the training. I just want to make sure it's all perfect on the lab stuff. But the quantitative and qualitative different tests, basically one means, hey, I see that there's cocaine in the system, but I don't know how much. And then the qualitative will say, okay, it's this amount and how old it is and things of that sort, all based on the urine. We're not getting involved with the hair test and the blood test, which I'm sure you all know of. Happens very, very seldom and doesn't pay as much. It does pay actually very good, but this is not that much frequency. These doctors should be doing this 3 to 5 times a day. Okay? I guarantee you, when you go into doctors and you talk to them about toxicology, almost none of them are doing it. I'm telling you, it's a virgin territory. It's not like this compounding thing we're doing, which is a little aggressive, but you've got to go there, okay? If you have a doctor who's interested in getting toxicology, get with Vinny. He can take it further, okay? But toxicology is humongous. You should make good money. Medicaid pays very little. You're probably going to make $50 to $80 on those, and on average, and the Medicare is somewhere about $1,000, $800 to $1,200, depending on the type of Medicare. So you make $80 to $120. But again, these are 2, 3, 4, 5 of these a day. All right. Now the doctor, can we do our clinical care coordinator model with the lab? I don't have the lawyer's final say on it. Here's why. What patient's going to fill out a survey saying, yes, test me for illegal substances? Right? Who's going to say, yes, test me to make sure I'm taking the drugs you say I'm taking on? All right? That's why we need to be a little cautious. I got to figure out how to do this. We're going to figure it out, by the way. We will do it. I'm working on it already. I have 2 proposed surveys I just need the lawyers to sign off on. We will get there. It will be a $50 thing. Max wants to say that if you're talking to addiction specialists and want to work with them about toxicology, to give him a call. All right? And yes, the Dropbox toxicology is not there because I want to finalize some things, Raymond. I don't want to make the same pharmacology mistake we did with Dingleberry Brian, all right? We want to make sure we do this correct, all right? Again, toxicology, Mr. Jim, wait until I'm done with the lawyers so I can release how we can do the compensation with them. Remember, we all want to make money, but nobody wants to go to jail, all right? And yes, so just so you know, Nettie is working already today. I'm hoping, if it's not done already, to put toxicology at the end of the webinar instead of the weight loss. Because the weight loss we're going to push off. Even if you get weight loss going, I've done numbers, you're going to make a heck of a lot more money on toxicology. It makes more sense. Okay? If Medicare finds out if someone's on drugs, will they terminate? I don't know about Medicare, but Medicaid in a lot of states will. I don't know about Medicare. Okay? Now then, whew, man, that was a mouthful. Any other questions on toxic? Bottom line is private insurance, $1,500 to $1,700. By the way, we're trying to get that up to $2,200 to $2,500 by adding the number of tests. So that's what I'm saying. I'm tweaking some things here, kids, so we could all make some more money. But now keep in mind, let me explain to you the payment cycle on that. Let's say a doctor starts in December 1st and through the whole month runs through 30 tests. Okay? We send them out for billing. By the way, it'll probably be we're going to try to add on to our existing portal that results. It might be 2 portals for a while, but we'll figure that out. You're going to see these pending billing. Guys, I mean, I'm telling you 20, 30, 45 days. We'll get some back in a couple weeks. But some of this is slow, 30 to 45 days, till it comes back paid, not paid, and how much it is. I can't advance you on that, unfortunately, till it comes in. So really, let's say you started January 1, you may not start seeing tax money till the middle of February, end of February. But once you get rolling, going into March, April, you know, it's a beautiful thing, right? So push it, push it, push it. It's a little slow pay. It's the lab industry, which is why we took so long to get it going. But if you got now once a doctor is doing this, and we have that, there's no reason why you don't push them for the creams. And by the way, think of the great fit that is. We're trying to help doctors to either reduce the narcotics their patients are taking or eliminate them altogether with their creams, and now we got a tox. So to me, it goes hand in hand. And this tox is humongous. It's so exciting. I mean, I've always never wanted to buy one, but I'm telling you, I'm halfway tempted to go buy a lab. I really am. I'm telling you, I'm thinking to go to South Florida and put together our own lab and do this in a much bigger way. But we would do cancer, we'd do the farm and everything else. So for right now on laboratory things, focus on the toxicology. We'll get it going. By January, we're going to promote the heck out of it. But you can start now finding doctors who are interested. So if you walk in, they're not interested in compounding creams, well, I understand. But by the way, let me ask you this. Are you currently doing toxicology testing in-house? All right. Now, let's say a doctor starts doing volume and says, you know what, Brian, I want to make even more money. Well, here's where it gets even more exciting. We're able to put a piece of equipment there in the doctor's office where they basically do the first portion of the tox, which we call the quantitative, in-house. They get to bill a couple $100. We'll show them how to do that, and then they send to the rest of us. We as a rep, you as a rep and us as a company make a little less money, but the doctor's making more, and that's ultimately, right? So we give up a little more, but now they're really going to be happy because we just trained them on how to make a couple extra $100 per patient. Okay, and again, on insurance, I've said this before, it's about $1,700, $1,500 to $1,700 on the private insurance, okay? You're going to want to hit those shrinks, those psychiatrists, because they want to make sure their patients are on the meds. So that's the other thing. We call it a toxicology, but it's also verifications, okay? Podiatrists, of course. Any physician that's prescribing drugs should be doing this just from a CYA mode, okay? Cover their butt mode. All right? Okay, so toxicology, very, very exciting compounding stuff. We know about that. Any other questions this time before we go forward here? We will supply the equipment if they're doing volume, Jim. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Drug rehab, most of them already do drug tests already. No. Larry, some of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them outsource it. Okay? It all depends on which rehab it is. Halfway houses, things of that sort. What is considered volume? I don't know, Jeff. That's a good question. Is that going to be 50 or 100, I would guess? I need you to give me some time about that. But Max has some good insight on the rehab and addiction stuff, so feel free to hit him up and give him a call for the other people that are hitting us up there. You know? Okay, any other, let's go through the questions here. You're going to call Max because he's addicted to Coke. Old Max, that was just an example there. You know, don't cry. Okay. What do we do now if we will provide equipment later? Well, again, what they basically do is the patient basically urinates in a cup. We send them a cup. It's basically like a cup, a plastic bag, and a lid. The gloves. It doesn't come with gloves. It comes with everything. So they can put it in and they just box it away and ship it to us on a daily basis with a FedEx account number, things of that set. Okay, great, great, great. Okay, any other questions before we move on? Okay, so one more time. Next week, on the 15th, I'm going to be out of town all next week. Max will be doing the training, maybe with Larry, starting, I don't know, next Wednesday. When they get the equipment, what happens is they're able to do the first part of the test there. It's a different cup and everything else. And because they're able to do that, they get to bill $40 for the cup and then somewhere around a couple $100. I got to be honest, Raymond, I'm still learning that part and I'm trying to get it done. I got to be careful on that because if I give the doctor the equipment for free, so what happens is the legalities we all have in all of these things is if you incentivize doctors to do things, okay? And that's what was so difficult about doing the survey and everything else. By the way, got a call from a rep today that was at a convention, and they said there was 4 or 5 different compounding groups there. all doing surveys, calling them coordinator models, clinic care models. A little different than us, but it seems like we're starting to get some competitors out there. So with us offering the Tox also, you as a rep are going to look great to the doctor, okay? Now, something that I'm hoping to, I got to follow up on. We're in contract mode because somebody was asking about it. So what a rep brought up to me some time ago, and I'll be honest, I didn't know this, about what a big issue it is for people out there, and again, we're switching gears right now, all right, that have allergies. And I said, what do you mean? I mean, so people are allergic to dogs, cats. What's that fake one that I've been hearing a lot? Gluten? I don't know if that's real or not. Pollen. So we did some research, and we're close, partnering with a doctor who I won't mention the name yet, but a very well-known doctor. And what the policy is, and we're training, we actually have 10 people in training right now with this doctor. What we'll be doing in January, and I don't have the exact everything right now, the dollar amounts, but this is the concept. So don't ask me the commissions, because I can't promise it to you yet. But we'll be able to go to a doctor's office, and we have 3 physicians we're practicing this with today that are on our friendly list. And this is probably going to be in middle of January, beginning of February, and it'll be ready to go. We'll put somebody in a doctor's office at our expense, an allergy technician type person. That person will take all of the patients that doctor is going to see for the day and pre-authorize their insurance to see if it will cover allergy treatments. So let's say there's 30 patients and 15 of them will cover the treatment. That technician will then give those patients, okay, a survey, not the $50 survey, forget about that for a minute, just a survey to see, hey, if they have some type of allergy that we can treat. Again, this could be food, this can be environmental. There's a lot of different allergies out there. Let's use a simple one. I'm allergic to pollen, and okay, hey, Mr. Patient, great. Why don't you come back here and they do what they call I believe they call it the prick test, right? You probably have seen it on TV. You may have had it done. They put this big sticker on you and they put some different drops of things and they figure out your allergies. And then they go, hey, looks like Max has an allergy to pollen. Max, why don't you come in once a month? Your insurance is going to cover this. I'm going to give you an allergy shot as an example. That might be one of the treatments. We bill, the average payouts on this are $4,500 to about $8,500 for the year's treatments in advance. And yes, we do not have to return the money if the patient cancels in a month or 2. Okay? We collect all that up front. We're going to charge the doctor probably about $2,500. The doctor keeps everything else. You will get a commission on that $2,500. We have a general practitioner. We're getting about 5 of these patients per day. Okay? This allergy thing, I've not heard of anybody else doing it. If anybody else does, please let me know. We've got a couple more things to sort out on it, what's called the lockbox arrangement with the third-party processor. When we launch that in January, it's huge. The treatments work well. Most of the patients will come back. That's going to be a nice hit for us all. Okay? That's where we're going with it. So the rep who told me about, they kind of got my mind going on this, is not on the call, or I'd give her a shout out. But if any of you ever have anything else you think would be good, you let me know. We're working on the plan. It looks like it's going through about 50% of the time. But remember, we're not even surveying or starting to treat patients until we know that the patient's insurance covers. We do have a way of quote unquote, basically verifying it or pre-authorizing it. Okay. We are MedTech Corp now, not Clinical Corp. That's correct, Sonny. Yep. I do know that. But that's not a doctor prescribing prescriptions or medicine, so the credit card's a little different. So anyways, I'm very excited about this allergy thing. We estimate a doctor should be able to bring us $40,000 to $60,000. Remember, we're talking about $2,500, okay? $2,500 billable to the doctor. There's no reason why a doctor, again, we're talking about doctors doing 25, 30 patients a day. But if you have a $2,500 times, let's say you have $2,500 times 4 a day times a 22-day month, That's $220,000, folks. I don't understand if you know that or not. Okay? Think about it. 22 times 5, it's 110 patients, times $2,500 is 275 grand if you want to do it that way. Even if, I don't have the percentages, but I'm telling you, this is going to be sick money for all of us. Now, the margin, I'm going to guesstimate you'll probably make 5 to 10% of that, because remember, I have to pay for the person. There's a little higher costs, but it's all day long. Now, think about the doctor. What extra work did I do for the doctor? It's our person administrating the test. It's our person helping with the billing. They just have to do their billing. It's our person seeing the patient. It's a beautiful thing. And the doctor's name will drop is a very, very good one. All right? Most of the things have already been, everything's being changed to MedTech here as we speak. It'll take another week or two. Even our help desk will change soon, okay? And yes, if you tell the doctor, hey, by the way, I have allergies, okay? All right. But at any rate, I'm very, very excited about the allergy campaign. And like I said, we're really close on that to be able to push that out. But it's going to be January. So going to January, I'm going to feel great with the toxicology. I feel great with the allergy. And then we have the cancer. And there's these other ones like the TENS units and all that. We're testing them, but I'm telling you, for the amount of time, it's, again, remember, our most important resource we all have is our time. So I don't want you spending 10 hours on something that's going to make you 20, 30 bucks a month when I can get you something that can make 5 or 10 grand a month. And by the way, again, isn't that great for a patient if a patient has an allergy and there's a treatment they could take that's going to take care of that allergy? If you were allergic to something, you had to go once a month for a shot, and that allergy would either go away or 90% of the symptoms would be removed. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Okay? So I think that's very, very, very strong. Okay? Somebody says, hey, I have a doctor that signed up today, wants to be on direct deposit. Well, again, Raymond, things like that, all you have to do is hit up the sales support line, and we'll get them on there. It's actually ACH we do. That's not a problem. And Raymond, does that new doctor that you signed up today, by the way, did they know about that their office manager is getting $10? Okay? The allergy is going to be January, folks, so I really don't have much more. I just wanted to, I thought that rep was going to be on there, okay? So we'll get there, okay? Okay, so that podiatrist, Raymond, you're going to want to make sure the office manager knows about that $10, because that's going to be huge to help you get a new doctor started, okay? So coordinate that with Vinny. Yeah, all the doctors can go to ACH. So another good thing is, for those who don't know, the doctors, when you first started, were actually paid about a month back. We're paying them a lot more frequently now that everything has moved from Clinical Corp to us, and that's going to increase things dramatically. Clinical Corp always wanted to pay by check. We're able to do ACH. There was a legal reason for the check, by the way, because they want the doctor to make sure he got it, and we're okay with ACH. Our lawyers have all okayed that. Yes, if a doctor sends in a volume, we could definitely pay them much more frequently. Medicare is paying for allergy. Right now I'm only working on the private insurance, Nicole, but I have noticed, because remember we do a pre-authorization, I've noticed that in the one doctor we have, that there's Medicare, then there's Humana and all these others, that the Humana seems to be covering it sometimes. So, but I don't have enough texture yet to be able to tell you why that's happening. Sonny, I don't know what that acronym is. Maybe my vision's going here. But yes, physician assistants 100% can prescribe. Okay. All right. So, what other questions do we have here? Oh, you're talking about the nurses. Is that an FNPC? Oh, yeah, physician. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're talking about nursing. Yes, the physician assistants, FNPCs are fine. CNSCs, AMPs, all the letters, as long as they're able to do it. Yeah, FNP is a family nurse practitioner. Yeah, those ones are okay, right? And AMPs are advanced nurse practitioners, okay? But again, they have to have anything that's with nurse practitioner at the end should be able to prescribe. But you just have to ask them if they have their license, that's all. Okay? Yeah, Adalia, give me, I'll give you a call later and answer that for you, okay? Yeah. Okay, so if you're brand new and this is your first webinar, I see a lot of new people. First off, welcome to the family. You're joining an organization that will support you better than others. We've had our hiccups growing along. I think that's common with any organization growing as quickly as we have. But again, welcome, and we look forward to working with you. There's a sales hotline you want to call whenever you need some help, which you should have. And we're going to actually make Max's and Mark's time a little better for you, but we're going to release something hopefully by tomorrow, and you'll see it in the emails. We also have Mark Barnett is available. He'll give you actually 45 minutes of his time at a time to walk you through how to get started and all that. So if you want to talk to Mark Barnett, just open up a support ticket. I believe there's a training drop down, and just ask for some time with Mark Burnett, given your number, and he'll call you and coordinate all that, okay? Yeah, Max, the time trade thing is not 100% yet. I don't want to give out the link yet, but it will be time trade. Yeah? Okay, and I'll go ahead and put up the number here for those who don't have it on the screen, so give me 1 minute. You just keep the questions coming here. And Dolly, in a nutshell, there isn't a yearly. We don't have the code for the monthly yet. That's why. So just bear with me. We'll get that sorted out there. Okay. Let me put up some information for those who don't know. For those who don't have all the information, first of all, ignore this. So for right now, this second, it's support.getmorepatients.today. By next week, that's going to be MedTech, but it'll redirect. Don't worry. The sales hotline is here. But what you want to do is go to the help desk, and here's the sales hotline. That's how you get a hold of Vinny. Or you just call there, ask for Mark Burnett. Let him give you training there if you're new and you want that 45 minutes of time, especially after watching the videos. If you haven't watched the videos, or at least given them a shot, that's not really fair to us. We've put a lot of time into that, so please watch them and go from there. Address you could skip. I'm putting our corporate address. You know what? Let me put up our new corporate address here for MedTech Corp, so everybody has it. I'll put it up on the screen here. Give me 1 second. I should have. If I were you, I'd put the corporate address on the business card. I wouldn't put your address. I mean, it's up to you if you want to, but I think that could be dangerous for obvious reasons. But hold on, I'll get to the address for the office. Stand by, because I don't remember it. What other questions here? Oh, okay, so there we go. Here's the address. I am recording this, by the way, yeah. I'm just going to copy the address here for those who need it. Jonathan sent it to me just the other day. All right. Oh, you know why? Because I gotta unpause the screen like an idiot. That's why. All right, so I see some hands up. Let's start taking calls. Leanne, how you doing today?
Great, Brian. How are you?
Great, great. Saw your hand up. How can I help you, my friend?
Couple questions, actually. First of all, I wanted to congratulate you in front of everybody on your recent engagement.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for embarrassing me, but yes. You said yes for some reason. I guess she was drunk or high, but yes.
Okay, as far as the toxicology, are we going to be offering point-of-care cups at all?
We will have a POC option, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some interesting statistics that I'll send to you later,
okay,
as a way to hopefully move doctors out of that direction. The other question I have is tramadol just became a Schedule 4.
We don't have tramadol on any of our script pads. If you have a tramadol script pad, you have an old one, please get a new one.
Okay, what are you using instead?
We have a totally new formulation, so it wouldn't be fair to say we're a substitution. We have no controls on any of our scripts anymore. Yeah, we took the tramadol off. Yeah, that actually happened in August. So if you still have a tramadol script pad, please let me know, so we'll replace it. Good question.
Okay.
Next. What else? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I have information to share with you, but I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, I called you earlier, by the way, Leanne. Did you see that call?
I did. I'm sorry.
I
was dealing with a sick kid.
About that other stuff, okay?
Okay, great.
Thanks. All right. All right. Thank you, Leanne. You're the best there. Mr. Max Brewer's there. Mr. Max, how can I help you? The worst rep I ever had.
Right on. No, I just wanted to make a comment about the stuff, the script pads in general, that when you go to the Dropbox and click on the script pads by specialty, that the first file in the Dropbox is called Basic Script Pad, and in all capital letters says use this pad primarily. That is the most up-to-date pain script pad that we have, with the metabolic formulation, the general wellness formulation on it, as well as wound, scar, and a couple of other things. But that's who, don't give. We're actually going to take some stuff out, but we do have a million different formulations that we can offer for customized script pads. But any pain doctor, anybody that's going to write pain prescriptions, needs to use basic script pad. Use this primarily. It's also in the other folder as blank script pad or pain script pad with metabolic. Use that one primarily. That's what I wanted to say.
All right, there you go. There you go. That is our mailing address, which is a Manda office, but technically, Barry, that's just our corporate address. There's not going to be any salespeople there or anything like that. There's nothing to visit. It's to be honest, it's just our attorney's address that's over there. But Delaware's got a lot of good case law. Max, I'm going to leave you unmuted so you can just jump in whenever you like. So just mute your side. But we're going to use that. The Broward office, honestly, we're down to like 2 people with the whole split from Clinical Corp. And as you all know, I love Costa Rica. We're probably going to be opening up an office, I'm thinking Miami in January, maybe Fort Lauderdale. I'm not positive exactly. Let me see if this other guy's on here yet. We have a couple people we're going to talk about moving around, so that may be happening, but we're a little bit away from there, okay? Okay, I put the number back up so you guys can see it there. Make sure you have that. So again, and open up tickets there whenever you need to talk to people. That's what it's there for, okay? So again, we've had our hiccups again. I do apologize on that, and I do think with this break, and again, very friendly break, it's going to be a lot better for us. I think it's going to take us as a company, I'll be honest, till the end of the month to get everything kind of sorted and cleaned, running perfectly between software, some of the new relationships, and things of that sort. So I'm really kind of, in my head, I'm getting things ready for January 1 to hit, strong. But I want to end strong. I like to start and end strong, kind of like working out at the gym, right? You want to end it strong, you kind of get a little weak. You always want to have a couple of those final routines where you just destroy it. So that's like when we're doing that $10. If you cannot get doctors going, when you have their office managers being paid too, that's an issue there, okay? We are going to hire a Medicare expert is what we're going to do, because some of these Medicare things, so let's face it, I screwed up when I brought Brian to the table. He came highly recommended from a source who's never steered us wrong, and I look like an idiot. I apologize. We're going to hire somebody in-house to help give us a lot more has a lot more expertise on the Medicare in-house. And we're interviewing for that at a high level with ex-Medicare people. But that's going to take some time, Barry, okay? We're going to be bringing in a few new people to the organization. We're going to be bringing in a laboratory expert and a compounding expert just to answer questions like the nitty-gritty, like about specific products, bases, wetting agents, binders, blah, 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 all right? I worked at a pharmacy, so sometimes I forget that not everybody kind of gets the game and all that. And we're trying to shoot some videos and all that. I'm also looking at some resources of people who've already done some pretty good videos, so I could borrow, point to them, because why reinvent the wheel? Leanne, who we were just speaking to, is redoing all of our training for us. She did a great job on a lot of things for us so far, and it's getting there. Hopefully tomorrow we're even redoing our recruiting video to include the toxicology in there. Okay, great. Any other questions so far? New people, again, strongly go to that sales hotline, or better yet, open up a ticket. Ask for Mark Burnett to give you a call. The portal, so let me go back to the beginning for those who are late. The portal, which I was hoping we would have the login today. It's not. Jonathan needs another day or so with IT. It's to me, it's great. Jonathan's picky. He's not going to release it to you or give you logins till it's perfect. So it's still not there, which is why you want to punch me in the face, Dahlia. And a couple of other reps. I'm sorry. We're going to do this right, okay? We've waited this long. When you do get it, it'll be there. Dahlia right now doesn't think there's even a portal exists. She thinks we run our whole company off of an Excel spreadsheet or an abacus. I promise it exists. I promise you'll see it soon. And once you get it, you'll be happy, I hope. And then we'll laugh about this in January when we're all making money. Yeah, at least you know what an abacus is. Okay. Any other questions from any other reps? Okay, great. Well, that's good. Look, under an hour. I think we got everything that we needed to talk about for tonight. So basically starting in January, and we'll put it out there, January is going to be like how to sell and how to sell deeper day. And Wednesday will be these kind of meetings, like company updates, what's going on, promotions, new products, company direction, things like that. And Monday will be really more on our sales training, because I think it's been really hard to do sales training and talk about what we need to talk about on Wednesday nights. So January, we're going to be going back to the two a weeks, Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday nights, we might even do a little later to get there. Oh, okay, so if you get, good question, I apologize. If you do get reps underneath you, you get 5% of the adjudicated sales that those reps bring in. Okay? But again, you're not eligible for that unless you have one active doctor. Because I'm not looking around to get 100 people to get 100 reps and they don't do any work. I'm paying you 5% because I'm hoping you're going to teach them by example and answering their questions, okay? Oh, actually, you know what? We got 10 more minutes. I didn't rehearse this, but let me see if... hey, Cheryl, I'm going to put somebody on the spot. She may yell at me. Hey, Cheryl, are you there?
I sure am.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Awesome.
You know what? After last Wednesday, for those who weren't on last Wednesday, Cheryl was on. One of our reps who's doing great, 5 figures a month in 90 days. Really followed our advice, but also honestly came up with a lot of better ideas than ours. And I would love to say that I think she's going to be great. She's our regional manager in the Northeast. You all got her website, which was schedulewithcheryl.com to talk to, and I know a lot of you called her. And Cheryl, from the calls you got, what would you say, and again, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, and I appreciate this. Would you say from the calls you had, let's say what would be the top 2 or 3 mistakes you think the reps you spoke to had, or misunderstandings, that kind of thing?
I think the first one, which we hit on a lot, is just start with what we know works. You know, don't try to break away from the mold that you started, that Max has started. I mean, I proved that it worked as well here. I think the other thing, a couple other things to remember is it's very easy when you hear that someone is successful to think that something is either different about them or different about where they are. I am in rural upstate New York. My biggest offices are in the middle of practically nowhere. You know, we're half shut down for a snowstorm now, and there's nothing different about me. You know, yes, I have a medical sales background, but I'm just like everybody else. I have my own insecurities to get over, my own, you know, life issues. So there's nothing different about me or where I am that makes me successful. I'm just willing to go out there and be told no and keep going to the next place and keep plugging away, knowing that it is a numbers game and that you have to at least have 100 docs on your prospect list, because the 80-20 rule applies to everything, absolutely everything. So if you don't have 100 prospects,
I'm Cheryl, real quick. What is the 80-20 rule?
The concept that 80% of your income success is going to come from 20% of everything you do and the people that you have. So if you've got 100 prospects out there, only 20 of them are even going to be interested in a webinar or a meeting with you. Out of those 20, only 20% are going to actually do something with you. So when you start to look at those numbers, you really do eventually need more than 100, but you have to start with 100. If you haven't been successful or are wondering, gosh, I haven't quite hit it yet, if you are not actively pursuing 80 or 100 prospects, then just know that you have to have that high of a number, because with everything, and even with me, I've got, let's say, 8 to 10 docs that I had signed up. 2 of them are really actively working. They require work because they are, they're prescribing, so there's work involved with that. But they require less work to motivate them than the other 8 do combined. So it's when you find that great combination of an office manager that wants to work, a doc that wants to make money, and really understands how the world works. They're out there. You just have to keep looking for them. And as you and Max have both said, it doesn't take that many to do well. You just have to persevere until you find the ones that do.
That's great. Hey, Cheryl, on Dr. K, let's not talk to that office manager yet. To you and I talk, okay, about the $10 thing.
You got it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. A couple people have some questions. Are you up to it, Cheryl?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. By the way, that doctor that you said that's enrolling, how far is that from your house? That doctor's like 5 minutes from your house, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit for like 30 miles, but in essence, when I looked and started, I said, okay, how far am I willing to drive? I was not, if anyone out there is concerned that there are other people in their territory, the 80-20 rule applies to that too, that it really doesn't matter how many reps Brian recruits, because they know that it's a numbers game as well, that 80% of the reps that they recruit aren't going to amount to anything. So don't worry about anyone else in your area. Just go out there and just keep plugging away, and you get those docs first. For me, I never even asked where anybody else was, because I knew I was going to work and I was going to do whatever I could to solidify my area so that Brian never wanted to hire anybody else in my area, at least without asking me first. So for me, I had started by saying what was I willing to drive? I was willing to drive a 100-mile radius from my home. Now, I haven't had to go that far to prospect well, but that's mentally where I was willing to go to start the search for prospects.
Great. We got a question here from Kathy. Kathy, your microphone's muted. Otherwise, I'd let you ask. Max wants me to ask you to bring up, what about the cost of acquisition in terms of how much time it costs you?
Yep. So as with anything, this is like 100% commission is great, because nobody is, finally, for people that work hard, nobody's stopping you from making as much money as possible. The downside is it's like having your own business, and so you have to be really smart about where you spend your time and what you spend your money on, because there is a cost of our time, there's a cost to our driving around, there's a gas cost, there's a printing cost, but I think what Max wants me to touch on is there's a time cost too, because there's only so many hours a day that offices are open, and some of us are in a more rural area, so we do have to drive a fair distance sometimes to get in between offices. So know that if an office manager initially is not interested, again, I would have initially just walked away at that point and moved on to the next one. Now at least I'm able to say that there's going to be money in it for you as well. So I'll have to change that a little bit. But in essence, I can't, and just like I've told offices when they've said, well, I need to know more about these compounds. I'm not a rep. I'm not a compounding rep. I'm here especially to help you, if you are at least interested in topical compounds, to help you use them more effectively and make money from doing that. So I try very hard to not be that pharmaceutical rep to them, because I don't want to, we've got pharmacists that they can talk to, and I want to be seen as a consultant, not confused with pharmaceutical reps and white papers and efficacy of things. I'm looking to hire people to help find the most efficacious compounds that are most quickly adjudicated by insurance companies, and that's why we need to collect this data. So the cost of acquisition is making sure that it's very easy in the beginning when you get a doc to sign up. I've been guilty of everything that I'm talking about. When you get a doc to sign up, you're like, hallelujah, this is it. But if it's like pulling teeth, you can't stop prospecting because you keep thinking that you've got to help convince this guy. Yes, you have to go back there and keep working with them, but you have to keep prospecting to find the real great offices that have a great office manager, a doc who wants to make money, a doc who's willing to prescribe and doesn't question every single thing that you do, and doesn't have to, have their arm twisted to write a prescription, or uncomfortable with the process. We're not here to convince them that it's okay to make money. We've invested 7 figures into showing you that it's legal if we need to prove that. None of us want to go to jail either. So I think that's the cost of acquisition out there, is being smart about your time and knowing that, yep, I'll keep following up with them, I'll keep doing what I need to, but I'm really looking for a better office than that.
Yeah. By the way, so Raymond just signed up 3 new doctors today. By the way, congratulations, Raymond.
Yeah, congrats.
Raymond, hopefully, if you're not already, I mean, what day are they starting? You're planning on getting out there today, right? Or that very first day to make sure they get started. I mean, when basically you signed them up, you just stopped going, Cheryl. You said, hey, cool, I'm done. I'm just going to start eating McDonald's every day and hang out at my house and watching cartoons, right? That's what you did?
No, yeah, absolutely. And just to make sure too, I never missed a webinar or a meeting, so I never let people even schedule at home because I know that the real benefit is me. I know that nothing goes smoothly. I know that I will give every doc 150%, especially the ones that are willing to give me 150%. And I know that someday, for whatever reason, I'm going to have to stand in front of them and say, the reason I give you 150% every day is because someday, and today's the day, I need to ask for a second chance. And so I always put myself out there as they're buying me because I'm going to be the advocate for them and willing to do anything for them. And that starts from me letting them know. I never tell them it's a webinar until after I schedule it, or I always tell them that I just need a 10-minute enrollment Q&A meeting. And then when I schedule it, I tell them that they're going to get a link, for an online webinar. But usually, if they might even say, oh gosh, you don't need to come out then. Like, no, I absolutely do, because just in case there's a question that's not answered, I'll be able to answer it for you. And I'm the one that's going to be working closely with you, and I want you to learn more about me and trust me because I'm really your advocate in this. Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, in case people aren't hearing my sarcasm, what we're trying to show is that you got to follow through. If in my opinion, if Cheryl did not show up at the training and didn't go to that doctor, Cheryl, how many days in a row did you go to that doctor, Dr. K?
Oh yeah. Well, as I've told the people that I've talked to, I've got a pretty strict process that I follow through with everyone. I have made the leave behind letters, I personalized it a little bit, so instead of saying a physician with your specialty, I've got a trunk full of folders that have we're looking for orthopedic surgeons, we're looking for podiatrists, just so that it's a little more personalized to that specialty. I go in, I ask for the office manager, I leave the letter. If they don't come out, I always ask what their name is, because my goal is to call the next day and say, hi, this is Cheryl Paulson for Ashley. I tend to get through more when it's like I'm calling as if I know the person and they're expecting me to call. If I don't get them, I leave a message with them. At that point, generally I'll try to call more than once, but at that point I've left the letter with them, I've called and left a message with them. I will now personalize that letter to the physician, and I will mail the letter to the physician. And then at that point I'm following up again. So every office is at least seeing the letter to the office manager, a phone call with a voicemail to the office manager, a letter to the doctor. Once the doctor's received a letter, then I put them on my mailing list for a monthly print newsletter that I'll mail to them to keep them up on all of the updates and new things that we have coming, because once you start to get busy, you just can't get back there, every month. If anyone, my initial script is really short, I'll give it to you now and I'll make you stop me, Ryan, but
no, go.
I always, when I walk into the office, I always say, hi, my name is Cheryl Paulson. I'm with a company called MedTech, and we are looking for, insert specialty, podiatrists to be part of our paid study, paid, P-A-I-D, not pain, paid study. I am simply looking to schedule 10 minutes with the office manager. And at that point, I hand the leave behind letter. I've never been turned down at that point. They usually get up and walk back to the office manager or call them, unless, of course, they're at another location or they're out for the week. At this point, one of three things is going to happen. The office manager is going to say, no, we're not interested, and not even come out. Again, my cost of acquisition, I am not looking to convert a lazy office manager into someone that's halfway decent. So I would, at that point, for the most, go into my Excel spreadsheet with my notes and say, office manager not interested. Doesn't mean I won't go back later with another letter that talks about toxicology, but on the paid study, they're out. They might come back and come out and want to talk to me and hear a little bit more, or they'll say, you know what, we'll give this to the docs. Let her know I'll show this to the docs, and I will call her if we're interested. Well, obviously they're never going to call, and it's at that point I always make sure I get the name, because I'm immediately going to follow up the next day. I put the notes in my Excel spreadsheet, what the office manager's name is, that I left the letter with them on what date, and to follow up. Go right into my calendar and schedule a follow-up call for the next day. I give the same exact script over the phone or on their voicemail. Hi, my name is Cheryl Paulson. I'm with a company called MedTech, and we are looking for orthopedic surgeons to be part of our paid study. I'm simply looking to schedule 10 minutes to go over an enrollment Q&A session with you to see if this is a good fit for your practice.
You know what, Cheryl? I quit. You're going to take my job because you're better than I am. Everybody who agrees, raise their hand. No, I'm just kidding. Don't raise your hands. That was awesome. that was great. Yeah, they're raising their hands. I don't blame you all. You're tired of hearing our voice. Cheryl, thank you so much, and that was just amazing. I hope you all got something out of that. I may do that, and schedulewithcheryl.com if you want to talk to her some more. That was just great. Thank you so much. But Raymond, my friend, I don't know if this is your first 3 doctors. Stop going after more doctors. Get those 3 going. Visit them every day. Cheryl had to do that with the doctors for that first week to get them going, and it'll work. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Cheryl, or Cheryl, anything else you want to bring up? And besides, now that you have my job and I got fired, thanks.
No. I'm happy to do it again, and get more feedback or do more role play with you. But I think that if people can kind of go back in the recording and use that script, I use it I use it the receptionist. I use it if the office manager comes out. I use it on the voicemail. The other thing, just when people are going through that process, I do everything I can not to talk about compounds, compounding pharmacies, pain. Usually somebody doesn't just say, great, I'll schedule 10 minutes. They'll say, well, what is this all about? And I simply tell them that, you know what, we need to collect data for the ICD-9 to ICD-10 transition, and we are able to pay the practice for the collection of that data. That's what I tell them on that, and usually 99.9% of the time, everybody knows there's a transition and they're all kind of loathing it. So like, oh, yeah, of course, that makes sense, got it. And then they start like, all right, well, where they may ask questions about, well, who pays for this? How does this work? I kind of avoid any of those questions and I answer what I want to answer, which is, hey, this is really easy. It's simply a 1-page survey. At that point, I hand them the survey and show them the 4 data pieces. It just takes 15 to 30 seconds at the end of the day to upload these 4 HIPAA-compliant data pieces. And it really, insert specialty, the internists that are part of our program are bringing in an extra $7,500 a month being part of this. So it's really an awesome opportunity. Again, I avoid what their real question was and just kind of try to answer something that I think will hit their hot points, and then let them know that I really just need 10 minutes and I've got a real easy presentation that will answer any more questions that you may have.
A couple more questions for you, Cheryl, if you're up to it. What if the office manager brings up anything about compounding pharmacies?
Yep, I try to be really careful about it, because at this point it could be where we're standing in the waiting area with other patients around. So at that point I will say, if they say something about it, I say, we are employed by 33 compounding pharmacies, because just like what your doc is going through, where your doctor has to prove that he is making efficacious decisions for the patients, The compounding pharmacies have to do the same thing. As you can imagine, insurance companies don't want patients on narcotics and they don't want patients on pills, and that means topical creams, which has now made our clients be required to show efficacy to get adjudicated by insurance companies. In order to prove that, we've got to have the data and to collect that data in order to make the insurance companies happy, and again, we're able to compensate you to collect that data.
Cheryl, I think that's awesome. I really appreciate your time so late and everything like that.
Yep.
Again, Cheryl is the new CEO of MedTech Corp. I have resigned. I know when I've been bested. I wish I knew her a year ago. It would have made my job easier. I guess we're good for now. By the way, just so you know, Cheryl, everybody has fired me. Which is okay. Listen, if someone's doing it better, that's fine. I think, honestly, Cheryl, I'm going to mute you now, but thank you so much. I think she does a much better job than I do. I really, really, really do. So I'm going to step down. But anyway, let's, I'm not even kidding. I'm being very honest here, okay? We do have we're really late, and I know a lot of people got to go, and I know there's more questions coming up, and Cheryl can only answer so much. She's amazing. And she's out there. You know what's good about Cheryl? Remember, I haven't been out in the field in months and months, probably going on a year now. Cheryl's out there now, so she's great. And I think she'll be able to help us as we go on there. What if the office manager is worried about insurance audits, Arthur? I'm not really sure how that goes there. And the 50 scripts, 50 pads, Raymond, talk to Vinny tomorrow. Okay, great. I think we got everything tonight. I know that unfortunately, I usually try to answer everything, but unfortunately, I have a meeting tonight I need to go to soon. So we did do an hour and 15 minutes, which was great. We'll do again another one next Wednesday. Arthur, if you like, call the sales hotline. It's on the screen, and any other questions that we're missing, just call the sales hotline tomorrow, and we'll get you taken care of. I apologize. Okay. Everybody have a great night. I know I usually do my 60-second timer, but tonight I can't because I do have to go somewhere. Been great talking to all of you. Go out there with that $10 thing and just get these office managers going. All right? It's a huge way to get going. Raymond, make sure you mention it to your new doctors. Okay? Everybody else, have a good night. Thank you so much. Cheryl owns the company.